What's up, brother? I wanted to start this video off by reading something that I wrote this morning. And that is, the universe will give you everything you want within life, but first it will test you. And when that test comes, you will be presented with the opportunity to persist or to resist. And depending on which one you choose, will determine how much you suffer. But regardless, you will have to suffer. This is because the universe will never give you more than what you can handle, so it puts a cost on the things that you desire most. 9 out of 10 times, that cost is the current version of you. I wrote that because I am currently coming out on the other side of what felt like a really tough period of my life in terms of me knowing what I want to create, but not really knowing the plan for me to be able to do it. And as I took a step back and really thought about what took so long for me to get to a place where it's like, I now know exactly what my goal is. I know exactly what my role is, and I just have to continue to walk it. And the thing that prolonged this for so long was whenever life gave me the opportunity to be able to achieve the things that I said I wanted to, I resisted for a long time. And in that quote, I said, depending on which one you choose, will determine how much you have to suffer. And this is because you've probably experienced this, but when you listen to your conscious and it tells you what you want to be able to achieve within life, if you ignore it and you don't allow yourself to fully go after it, it doesn't go away. It continues to be in the back of your mind. And no matter how much you succeed within something else, you will continue to think about what your conscious is telling you to do because that is the path that you are supposed to go down. And that's something that I truly believe. And for me to really explain why I think this way, I believe that the kingdom of heaven is within inside of us. They say that within the Bible. And that is our creator telling us what we were put on this earth to accomplish. And whenever you don't listen to that voice, it gets louder and it gets louder until eventually you have no choice but to either commit to it or commit to a life where like you just choose to settle or go for something else. And then at the end of your life, you end up hearing that voice still and you just ask yourself, I wonder why. Like I've watched so many of those videos of people who go to like old folks' homes and they talk to them about their biggest regrets. And they're like, I wish I tried more. I wish I took more chances. I wish I didn't care so much about what other people think. And it was just like pretty much saying, I wish I went after my goals. I wish I listened to my conscience. And that's something that scares the living hell out of me because the biggest failure in my head is to get to the end of your life and realize that you never actually lived. And a lot of people do that. And that's something that I am so deeply committed to not experiencing because life will give you everything that you want. You just have to prove that you want it. And the reason this happens, or at least the way that I explain it to myself, is the way I look at reality is each and every single one of us are living inside of our own film. And in that film, you get to decide how you show up, but you can only do that if you are conscious of where you're going and what you need to do to be able to get there. And so that's why I say, know your role, know your goal. Because once you figure out those two things, as long as you play your role, you will get to your goal. And within your film, right, there can only be one version of you. And so if you want to be able to upgrade into a new character, which is what I define a goal as, you have to be willing to let go of this previous character. And the reason why this is difficult most of the time has nothing to do with like you really wanting to remain that character. Like that's why you set the goal. It's more so about like what other people think of you that make it difficult. You start to worry about how people will perceive you if you start to post online and talk about the things that you want to achieve. The things that you miss out on if you stop going to the club to be able to start working on your goals. The like just all of these like small things that are within your current reality, they're anchoring you into this current film, and you start to like kind of freak out and wondering like what happens if that's not there. And this is because whenever you switch to a new character, you're essentially switching that role. And for you to switch that role, you switch the film that you're in. And so when you switch the film you're in, for you to be able to do that, you have to completely take your attention off of the old film and put it onto the new one so that as the old film rolls out, it doesn't add more to its timeline. So when this timeline runs out, you can put in a new film. And the reason why it's difficult is because for you to exit this film, reality has to find a point in time where you can leave without having to make that much adjustments to this current film. So stick with me here. Think about whenever you are watching a TV show and one of the characters leaves to go do a different project. They don't just remove the character and then never talk about why they're just no longer in the film anymore. What they do is they find a point in time for them to exit without having to mess up this current storyline for anybody else. And this is because reality is lazy. They want to take the path of least resistance for you to be able to do that. And so, for you to kind of help reality be able to give you the things you want, you have to put in some legwork. You have to quote unquote suffer. And when you suffer, you essentially are letting go of this current version of you so that you can step into this version of you that can have the things that you want to achieve. And the title of this video is why you have to suffer in order to be able to manifest. Because what I call manifesting isn't like sitting around and hoping and praying, but not taking any action and just hoping that like what you want just magically appears in front of you. What I call manifesting is becoming the version of yourself that can see the things in your reality that can help you achieve your goals that are already there, but you just don't see them. And so, to give you an example of this, let's say you want a specific car. That car is already there. And the opportunity to be able to give you the money to get that car is already there. You just can't see it right now because either you don't have the skills to take advantage of this opportunity, you don't want to let go of what you're currently doing to be able to like take a risk to make the money. You are scared of what people think of you or something, but there's something that's blocking this opportunity that will allow you to achieve the thing that you want. And so by manifesting yourself into a version of you that can see the things in your reality that will help you be able to get to your goal, what it does is it allows you to manifest the things that you want within life. And so, for instance, I've been doing a lot of posting on YouTube recently. And it's because I want to get my message out there and get it in front of my ideal client. And I originally had this plan in my head that says you have to go this way. This is the only way for you to be able to get there. But recently I found another opportunity to be able to help me do the same thing, but project my voice louder in a way that helps more people, and it doesn't really fit into like this perfect box that I had planned out, but it aids in it. And everything that happens within this new opportunity will help me be able to pursue the goal that I was going after here, but allow me to do it in a much more efficient manner. And the only reason I was able to find this opportunity was because I developed the skills and I found like when the opportunity presented itself, I was able to go in and take advantage of it, and it was given to me. And so in order for you to achieve the things that you want to achieve, you have to detach yourself from the attachment that you have to the things that are currently anchoring you into this current reality that's keeping you stuck. Because the more you resist, the harder it is for you to be able to push forward. And one of my favorite quotes that I live by now is persistence is your birthright. And the way I define persistence is just being hard to kill, like continually going after your goals, like in the pursuit of your goals, having just unwavering faith that it will happen. And so that's a quote that I continue to live by. And it's just persistence is your birthright. You cannot achieve when, like, you don't get to determine when you achieve whatever it is that you're going after. You don't really get to determine how. You can kind of put in some parameters, but if something comes up, you have to be able to coordinate with it to be able to get to the other side of the path. You can't just like keep saying, this is how I'm going, and you hit a wall. That's how people get stuck for ages. But it's like continuing to go after the goals that you have, no matter what tests come up in front of you, is the things that allow you to achieve the things that you want. And so, what I always tell people is it's like whenever you create a new character, you create a new goal, you'll go through 3 phases. You'll get some type of beginner's luck, most likely. And then after that happens, you'll be faced with a test. And during that test, you decide how you're going to respond. Are you going to resist or are you going to persist? And once you persist long enough, then it's almost like the universe just gives up and they say, here you go. Like, this is, you can have that thing. And so being able to keep that fire in you is the most important thing that you can have. And that's something that like I've had to continue to remind myself as I've even gotten to this point in the journey, which is still in the very, very beginning. But I know for me to make the impact that I want to make, these are the steps that I have to take. And so, what I want to end this video with is whether you dream big or you dream small, you are going to have to suffer. And so, you should choose something that's worth suffering for and suffer well. Because if you can do that, you can do it.